My name is Hatie Trainer.
My name is Ciervo.
I'm Jolene Windmiller, like a windmill.
My name is Andrew Pochan.
Russian.
No.
And why am I an artist? I didn't know I was one. And I don't feel like an artist.
You know
You don't feel like an artist?
That's okay, neither do I.
I'm from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and I make art because I kind of have to.
The majority of my life in Reading. And I've been an artist as long as I can remember.
My hair look okay?
Looks terrible.
Grew up in West Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm an artist because I have to be. I need to draw. You see things and you need to do them.
So I just like to say, I have to make things or I'll die. I just started painting in 2015, February.
Is that as long as you've been painting?
I like how specific you are.
I know.
I like how specific in February. I don't remember when I started painting.
That's after I made the mermaid.
February,
That was January 2015. January 16th.
It was a Tuesday. Now, how did you come to be in this area, though?
I totally tripped into it, pretty much. I've developed my career through art as a very versatile artist, from magic on the streets into murals, and that's where I'm at right now. No, honestly, I'm a magician. So I traveled around the country doing magic tricks and came back here and was like, I don't have any money. So I set up on farmers markets doing magic tricks, but as I was traveling, I identified that I was here like harassing people endlessly, and like it's a constant energetic exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You converse, you harass appropriately, and you make a couple dollars. Whereas this artist would sit there and do his thing, wave at people on occasion, say hello, talk a little bit, make $20 for a print. Not even the original. And here I am doing original magic tricks over and over. I didn't go to art school, and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people do not respect those who haven't gone to art school that are doing cool things. And that's a big issue in my life, continuously, that I'm trying to overlook. I'm trying to find self-respect, but it's challenging sometimes. My mom worked for a nonprofit that got women who were victims of like abuse back into society. And I wanted to go to art school, and she told me not to. So I never did. And I wandered around the country, lost for a couple, 10 years, and then now I'm back doing it anyway. So it's like,
So that's funny. If she would have said go to art school.
No, she told me it's the worst thing I could do with my life.
Wow. Her words.
Yeah.
So she sort of forced you just to run away, or just to travel.
There's no future in art. Kind of, I had no option. That was my calling.
Because you weren't going to go. You didn't go to college.
Yeah, I couldn't
I
see
went
you
to
being
Hack
a
for 5
biology
years.
major.
No, it's
Yeah.
Currently, my work is mostly comprised of theoretical science meets art, which is taking concepts of sacred geometry and mathematical formulas and genetic growth and DNA and how life evolves, and taking that and just kind of creating something from it that is pretty. I made prints and set up on the street with it behind me, and was doing magic tricks at the farmers market in West Reading. I did all the First Fridays, the Third and Bergs. I traveled around all the different cities, and Dean saw it. He was like, so he was wearing shorts and he had his little dog.
Yeah.
He was looking at me and asking me questions.
You're like, where are you asking?
And he was like, tell me about this. And I'm like, who's this guy? And he was wearing not professional clothing. So
6'4", so he's gigantic.
Yeah. But he had Ray-Bans on, so I knew he might be something.
Yeah, Ray-Bans on. Or he was borrowing.
He had a bit of narcissism there. He needed to have that.
A subject matter that I am attracted to would happen to be randomness. I'm really big into how gravity and stuff would happen to flow, or taking something out in nature and now you have grass in it and now you're smearing that out of it, and then building upon in layers and layers and layers, and how life builds upon itself based upon what you do with it. So he's like, tell me about this. And so I told him about my Fibonacci seashell, and he's like, tell me about this. And he went through my little album that I had behind me, and I'm like, I'm so, like, you're on the streets performing,
Yeah.
and people waste your time. And it's like, if you were a waitress or something, they would respect your time usually. At least enough
Yeah.
to give you minimum what they
Yeah,
expect.
yeah.
But like people on the street, they'll just talk to you because you're interesting, and then they'll walk away. So I'm like, okay, dude, I totally thought he was one of these people. And he comes back and throws a magazine down, and he's on the cover, and I'm like, and he's like, do you want to do a mural of that? He's like, I love this Fibonacci shell, but do it better. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, here's my card, get in contact. And I'm like, okay.
A mural of himself.
No, of my work, like
Oh.
of the Fibonacci seashell.
Oh,
So it was
I
like,
thought
Now he
you
was
were
on the
nice-
cover of the magazine,
Yeah.
but he liked that shell. Yeah.
so like it made him legitimate to me, and then he,
She doesn't know
His
who Dean
proposal-
is.
What was his,
She
what
doesn't
was
know
his
who-
magazine?
Dean is the head of Elm Street Project in West Reading
yeah,
that controls the murals,
the
basically.
revitalization. I'm more so. I mean, art. I'm building it. I don't have a necessary artist that is my influence. It's mostly something I'm compelled to move towards.
I think that would be cool for something. It's hard to do in an alley, but it would be at least
Well,
a
they
little
need, like,
dot. So, it would,
That's fine. Cut. Take two. That's fine. We can cut it.
no, I'm gonna. She just wants to know if we're filming yet. Like right now, I'll do like a series of Vespas, or I'll do like toys from the 70s. I like to do. I'll observe people at the bar where I work, and I'll tend to do not social commentary, but I'll watch people, and I get ideas from that. Anytime you show up Wednesday at the club for pasta,
That's what it is.
you get to eat for free.
All right.
Oh.
Your drinks are $1,000.
Markup is 4,000% as opposed to 400.
I just charge other people. My biggest challenge is that people like my art. And my biggest challenge is not to care that people like my art or not. And I think when you get to that point, then you do good art.
We showed up that one time and there were limos out front. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what are we at? And then you were behind the bar and I'm like, where are we at?
Who is this guy?
What is this?
That is probably the first time I really met you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Man, I'll hold you close.
oh, thank you. So, I mean, I didn't know anything about anything. Oh, right.
That'll be
never mind.
good.
That's okay.
That's like that's what they do in Rome.
That's
They
good.
When in Rome, do as in Rome,
put a little
pasta.
put a little pasta in your.
Classy enough.
You're way classy.
You need a little bit.
It's usually acrylic, mostly acrylic. A lot of times I'll do plaster. I do Venetian plaster on walls, so I have a lot of extra material, and I have this idea where I'm doing sort of like fresco stuff with the plaster. I'll put the plaster down and I'll scratch out almost like a graffito style.
I need you here for a spit take, actually. So just
I'm coming.
A spit take.
Oh,
I need a spit take. Okay. When Albert sits down, Katie, action.
Oh, so, could you believe back in
84, when they painted this mural of
I couldn't believe
guys
it.
pulling towels out of a bull's ass.
That's what it looks like.
what?
He's
I wouldn't mind.
I was never a proficient artist, but you start doing things, people start to like things, people start to buy things, and you start to do a little more.
you find your area, and people find you, and it's sort of cool. So you start to develop a little more. You do more art. Not that it's for profit, but you essentially do what you want to do, and people like it. It was water. I didn't use the wine. Is that what you wanted?
Great.
It's perfect.
The surprise is that's fine. That should be okay. The hidden mic.
Is that when you wanted it to go?
Yeah, that's the way I wanted it to go. I wanted to be surprised, and let me tell you, I was surprised.
But I don't
think
feel-
people don't get our minds.
I don't feel like
Sometimes.
an artist though. I feel like
Well, what does an artist feel like? Do you have to be like so out there? Do you have to be?
Jolene's the most out there of all of us.
She is pretty.
She's the most out there of all. That's saying something.
Or
That's saying something.
she just thinks a lot. I think.
oh yeah, I wish I could turn it off. I like oil. I like acrylic. I like watercolor. I like using natural things too, like grass and beets and tea and coffee and turmeric. So whatever I can make a mark with.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Where it's a spew. It's not really anything that you can necessarily control. You know, art.
Yeah, that's why when I was in school for 7 years and working in the medical field, I felt like I was dying. Because it wasn't that I hated what I was doing, but it wasn't, I had no balance at all. Like, I needed to write a song.
Yeah.
I needed to paint it. In February 2015, I knew it because I painted my first portrait, and it like blew me away. I didn't know I could do it. I graduated, and my mom and my sister got me a gift certificate for the Goggle Works because I said I just want to paint. I want to make an oil painting, and so they bought me a $200 gift certificate, and I signed up for this class. It was an open studio, and wasn't like a teacher saying do this, do this, do this. Some people painted architecture, some people painted skies, some people just painted still lifes, and I wanted to paint portraits, and so that's what I did, and I did it, and I didn't know I could do it, and that was like, I felt like I was high off of the paint. Well, you know, not paint.
You're in the zone.
I was high.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, I was high, and then I thought, okay, I'm done with my education. I need to do this. I like figure drawing. I like doing people. I like doing skin. And then I also go to the other extreme where I like doing things completely abstract that don't look like anything, or they can look like 10 different things to whoever sees them, or to me, if I look at it today or tomorrow, I can see something else in it. I used to paint like Bob Ross. He was my idol.
He was my boy. I grew up with him.
Yes, and my grandma was painting like him, and then I started painting with my grandma and Bob Ross, and we had all these beautiful landscapes, oil. And then I had all these paintings. I was a teenager, and my mom had a yard sale, and she sold them at the yard sale. I don't remember.
So that's good and kind of lackluster. At the same time.
Well, 10 years ago, somebody asked me to paint a cactus on a milk can for them, and I did.
And that's it. And that's it.
That's the best.
And that's it.
Ever.
It was all build up.
It's classic.
It was all build up, and then that's it.
There's no moral.
That's like standing in line for nothing.
I can think of one other thing.
Okay. Oh, good. Is it longer?
I used to live in a basement, and I painted the wall with a tree, and the leaves were fish, and it made me happy.
like the cat.
Like a windmill. Okay.
My question is, how does anybody afford art school?
No.
That's what I don't get, because both of my daughters, well, my oldest went to Moore and could only do a semester
More.
because there's no more money.
No more
No
money.
more money.
Writing for the past going on 7 years now. It's just been painting after painting, film after film.
That's good.
Yeah. I've always believed that, you know, I'm the sort of artist that can't help but create it. You know, and I feel that's the way with a lot of artists, you know, like money doesn't motivate me to make something. It does, but it's nice. But something will always come out even in a dry period of time. It was pretty much preordained that I was going to be that ever since I was young. I went to a Catholic school when I was younger and they didn't have a good art program, so I moved to the public school, which had a much better art program. So that was, it always kind of seemed in the stars. I find it amazing when just like people can actually repress that even for a certain period of time. Like mine came because I just hated art at that point, you know what I mean? It was almost like a bad breakup. But some people are just like forced into it, whether life or your parents did it and stuff like that. I could never imagine that. And I thank God that my parents weren't pushy in that regard. They're like, we don't get it, but we'll support you.
Yeah.
That's,
well, I think that's the whole thing,
mantra.
though. It's like, I went to art school. I started because I was like, well, why don't you be a teacher? I'm like, well, I don't want to be a teacher. I want to draw. I want to do art. I don't know how to make money. Well, you got to know how to make money. I think a lot of parents from my generation, they sort of suppress stuff like that because you need to have a regular job and stuff. And I'm like, I'd rather go like this than this. I don't know. I just think it's more fun.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting with this show, too. We have sort of two generations of thought as well. I like how these are my questions, yet I can't answer this one. I don't think... it's really strange, like, you know... A message. What? Yeah, I know, you haven't noticed that? No, I put that there. I put that there on purpose. I'm glad you finally...
We just noticed it at the same moment.
Wow, we're 2 minutes into the interview and now you just noticed this shiny little bow tie. It's a piggy bank, actually. And in college as well. I was the bane of my photographers. Or radio as well. Teachers' existence.
Were you just contrarian?
No, I wasn't really that. It was just... I think it was really like if there was a teacher in college or high school that wanted to sort of stifle what I wanted to do without good reason, or they were trying to maybe pull me back towards where the rest of the class was mentally, artistically, I would declare war on them, and then I would try to kill them, essentially. Like I said before, I've always been the artsy kid. I was voted most artsy in high school and in middle school and all that. So my career, I think, really developed from since I sold my first drawing, which was when I was 6 in Catholic school. In first grade, I sold a drawing for 20 cents. And then I sold another one and another one and another one. And then then what I did was I had people trace what I drew so that we could make more money. So I made prints and I charged them less. So 20 cents for an original and 10 cents for a copy. And that lasted for a couple weeks, I remember. And then I got in trouble, and then all my employees got in trouble for making these drawings that we were making. I don't know why we did, but they made us give them the money back. Of course, I didn't give any money back.
Do you think it's more about your technical skills and your ability, or about the thought process that goes into the image that you want to show?
Combination, at least for me, where you can be all technical ability all day, but you can be boring as hell. So, no.
But that's like a portrait, because you're just painting.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's still cleverness to it. There's still something that you can do, even if it is like sort of just a little concerto. And it's not a symphony, it's just this little piece that's meant to be it. You know, but there's still cleverness that you can achieve. I don't know how, you know, specifically right now, but I've done that, or done it just differently enough where it's like still a portrait yet not. My message is, if I had a message, this would probably be it. You know, it's all going towards the same place. I feel life is nothing but a performance, in which most of us are comedians, whether we know it or not, and that's it. And not to say that life is a sort of joke, but it's certainly nothing to take serious. I think that's probably, if there's a message in life that I have that's not very popular.
Get paid for that.
Oh God! Or to say I went to a meeting and did you get paid for that? What?
Do I tell you how much you? Do I ask you how much you make? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me want to bite my nails just thinking about it.
Well, cheers to supporting other
here-
people in the
here,
world.
here,
Hold on, we gotta wait 1 second.
There you go. Well,
To supporting the arts for others.
To supporting the arts and ourselves. Mostly.
ourselves.
Mostly ourselves.
Because you can only give what you have.
We're entrepreneurs, capitalists.
Say hello to an artist.